Hello, and welcome to another week of fusion writing, where building character meets creating structure. We have got another fun week ahead. This is our compass, which is our overview. It's the more gentle introduction to our topic for the week. And this is our Zettelkasten week, where we talk about that structure that we talk about creating. We have a Zettelkasten gives you a wonderful opportunity to put some of that structure aside, where you can take it off of your poor beleaguered brain and put it in a spot where you can remember it, where the decisions that you make today for your story can go forward with you over time as you build your story. And so you're not having to constantly flip back through the pages and say, oh, what did I say? What did I say? What did I say? Now, where did I put that? And you can have that information handy for you. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about the character traits and how you can capture character traits also in that same kind of a way, and how they can interact for you. So as always, we're going to start with Victoria, so we'll let her take it over.
Hello, Lilligans and curious onlookers and friends. Thank you so much for joining us for another week. I know a lot of you have questions about specifically the structure of the Zettelkasten and how it relates to the story that you're writing. So for my overview, I just want to say a few words about how to specifically start building the key elements of your story in relation to your characters. So if you've seen any of my other videos, you may already know that I have built my Zettelkasten out around my novel. So my novel takes place in the 7000s, but I'm not going to get too deep into the numbering because your numbering system is your own. And Kathleen's going to talk a little bit more about how to simplify that, how to implement that. So I'm not going to touch that here. What I do want to have you consider is I want you to think about your good guy, your protagonist, your main positive character, and your villain, your main bad guy character, or bad gal. Gals are bad too. And I want you to think of them as a counterpoint to each other. So as you're starting to create those character cards, which if you don't have the character card download, we will link that for you again. But your character development cards are how you show your mind's eye what this character looks like. What are their values? What are their traits, which Kathleen will talk to you a little bit more about? What do they want? What are their fears? All of those specific elements that go into building who they are so that you can write effectively about them. Once you've done that, then you're going to start thinking about how does that main protagonist, that positive arc character, relate to your villain? And I'm going to talk you through how to interrelate those using your cards so that you can track it, you can follow where they're going and complete that character arc, and then you can bring it home into a cohesive, well-woven story that is satisfying for the reader. Because at the end of the day, that's why we're here. We're here to write great stories for the readers who love us, love our style, love our genre, and want to follow those characters, hopefully through multiple books. So with that overview said, I'm going to turn it over to my esteemed colleague, Kathleen, and let her talk to you a bit about her side.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Victoria. That gives us a wonderful direction for where we're going to go. And I, for one, do enjoy those character cards because I'm a great fan of being able to put character down on a card. Now, we've just had 4 general categories, 4 major groups of character traits. We have talked about resilience, how our character struggles against the world as a whole. How we talked about balance. How does the character live comfortably within his own skin? We've talked about insight in the character's alertness and awareness of the world, his mental acuity, wisdom. And we talked also about empathy, which is all about the relationships of our character. Well, in line with the fact that Victoria has asked us to think about our protagonist and our antagonist, there's a very interesting thing that very often is going on with your villain. So this is just an idea to see if this applies to your villain or not. You can try this out and see, is my villain like this? Many times a villain is very, very proud of their own brilliance. They think they are just about one of the smartest people on the planet. And because they are so superior in intelligence, that gives them the right to take advantage of those inferior beings. Well, they're so inferior to our villain's brilliance. It's like eating a ham sandwich. You don't ask the pig, if he minds giving you some ham. He's so inferior, you just take what you need from him. Well, what this often leads to are blind spots. And the places where a villain has blind spots, exactly like Victoria said, are going to be those counterpoints. If the villain has no feelings for others, your hero has compassion. And the villain won't be able to predict a compassionate response. The villain is unloving. Your hero has love. And that one will very often take down a villain, especially heroic love. And so on. If think about that, and that's what I'm going to invite you to do in the compass. Think about the character traits where the hero and the villain can counterbalance one another. And one of the easiest ways to think about that is in that insight, in that wisdom group. So I would invite you to play around with that and think about jotting those down on a card to memorialize your insight for your characters. That's all I have to present for our compass session, but we have a map session coming up tomorrow where we'll go a little bit deeper and actually look at some cards. So be sure to come back tomorrow. Victoria?
See you next time. See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye-bye.